cyber crime and against the women. We all know that information technology has widened itself over the last 3 decades or so, and it has become the axis of today's technical development globally. Internet, is one of the greatest inventions in the area of communication. And with the use of internet, the whole world has become a global village. So today, with the advancement of technology, we are living in the era of internet. We can say we are all netizens. However, this advancement of internet, that has also widened its roots, and the crimes are committed using internet. The World Wide Web, WWW, allows users to circulate the content in the forms of the text, in the form of the images, in the forms of the videos, sound, audio, whatever, that can all be circulated and shared online. So the contents so circulated are very damaging, particularly for the security and safety of the women sometimes. And there is a very high occurrence of the violence against women due to the use of technology. In 2015, you see the United Nations Broadband Commission, a working group on gender, reported that approximately 73% of the women across the globe, they have been targeted or they are exposed to some form of the violence online. And these type of the violence are including threats, some harassment, stalking, and many other types of the offenses. Now, coming to this cyber crime, if you see the Oxford reference, that refers to cybercrime as a crime which is committed over the internet. Very simple definition. Or we can put it like that: the cybercrime is just like an activity that uses the internet to commit a crime. So broadly, we see the cybercrime is any illegal behavior, or it is an act by means of, or it is in relation to a computer system or the network. So for committing the cybercrime, a gadget as well as the internet networking is required. And this we all are facing because of the social change, and also this is the requirement of the today's time, that we cannot leave the use of the network internet, but how we have to do this is the main question. We know that there are changes in the social norms, the moral values have been changed, and overall situation is entirely changed now. We have the literatures like Vedas, where we see that very high regards were paid to the women. She's, as mother, is said to be the creator who gives the life. Even today, women deity is worshipped as Devi or goddess, but at the same time, they are viewed and depicted as sex objects. Maybe because of the changed attitudes, the values and norms, women is treated inferior to men in various societal functions. This is the reality. This is in practical. We find this. We can see great gender bias without complaint. The shy nature and nurturing of women that don't allow them to go for the complaint. Now, when we are talking of the cyber crime, the basic point here is that the women, they are suffering because of these crimes, but they don't prefer to complain. And at the same time, if you see the men, they think that their wrongdoings towards the women will go unpunished in the absence of complaint. And this leads to a thinking in male members that they will not be penalized, so there is no need to be disciplined. The spirits of the culprits to get even higher increases because of this not going for the complaint. And this attitude of the men is seen in very increased, there has been an increase in the violence and the crimes against women because there is no complaint in maximum cases. But with the advancement of technology, as cybercrime and internet bullying, mistreatment, harassment, this all poses a great threat, a great danger to the personality of women to live a life with security, to live a life with privacy, to live a life of dignity as such. Because the women are considered to be very, very soft target of this new form of the crime. Cybercrime that is emerging as a challenge for the security of women. Cybercrime and internet bullying is something where the wrongdoers are not afraid of any authority that can penalize them. And the cyber bird in itself has a virtual reality where anyone can hide or even fake his identity. So the criminal minded persons use the internet to commit the crimes. They commit wrongful acts and then hide themselves under the shield of the technology. We know that social networking has encouraged some new views whereby more and more informations are being shared and they are being communicated in a friction of seconds. So social networking websites are being used regularly. And there are millions of the people all over the world who are using the internet. Presently, most of the women are using internet. Particularly, if you see after this number of the women user is also increased during COVID pandemic. They are linked in different sites, maybe for net banking, for online shopping, email, ticketing, and other social networking sites, which made their life very easy, fast, as well as entertaining also. So internet facility, though used properly, is good for the women, but if it has made the life of women insecure due to this rising of the cybercrime in the virtual world, then that is very, very, we have to be very, very cautious about that. There are certain major areas of cybercrime which are affecting us all as a human being, as I was hearing the previous lecture regarding gender neutral offenses. So this cybercrime is also not confined only to women, but it is affecting the human being as a whole. Human being that includes male, female, and all. So the areas where we find that this cybercrime is affecting, maybe cyber trafficking, there is cyber terrorism, there is the crime relating to the finance and banking sectors. You see the intellectual property is being stolen, though we have the plagiarism rules also. Then identity theft or invasion to the privacy is also one of the area where the cyber criminals they do this type of the offenses. And the very important area is the cyber crimes against women and children. Now the question is, what is the motive for this crime? Why does it happen? How does it happen? Or who does it? Is there any penal law to control these type of the offenses? And if there are the laws, then how to use those laws? Besides, what exactly the cybercrime being faced by the women? So many questions are there. You see, these questions can be answered like the persons, they may have the financial gains, they may have the fraudulent activities, that may be their motive. The disruptions and terrorism may be the motive. Fun or defamation may be the motive. But if you see the motive, then whatever may be the motive, women is a victim of cybercrime. There are many reasons also for victimization. There may be traditional reasons, there may be tech-based reasons. Traditional reasons like sociological reasons, psychological reasons. If we go for the sociological reasons, just as I was hearing regarding the dowry issue, then we find that the patriarchal society we are living in. So sociological reasons for these type of the crimes may be the family honor of the girl concerned. The nurturing practices also. We all know that the preference to the boy in the family is one of the reason which we find traditionally in India, though we do have the laws also for prenatal diagnostic act, but at the same time we find that more and more girl child is there is a crime of the feticide also. So the nurturing practices also depends on the discrimination between male and female, boy and girl. Most of the cyber crimes remains unreported due to the hesitancy, or it may be due to the shyness of the victim, because they are not being taught that if there is something wrong done to them, then they should report them. And there may be some fear or defamation of the family's name. So the sociological reasons are there for these type of the crimes. Then there are certain psychological reasons to commit the crime and to be the victim of that crime, like loneliness may be the reason that the persons they are involved in the internet activities. The insecurity may be the reason. The lack of family support, there may be no support of the family members, no support of the friends even. Then feeling lonely, they may be involved in the internet activities, and that may lead on the victimization as well as to commit the crime also. Then there may be tech-based reasons also, because many of the users, they are not having the knowledge of the computers, or they may be having the partial knowledge of the computer. So because they don't have the exact knowledge of the computer, they are not aware as to what to do and what not to do. Then lack of the awareness about the cyber laws also, because what is happening or what is being committed against these persons, then whether there is any law or not, and how to report, that is also depending on the crimes rates which is increasing. So reasons for committing the cyber crime, the outlook of the miscreant, that is all very important, because the internet addiction and the cyber relationship addiction, you see easy availability of the internet, and you can make the anonymity also, you can seek the attention of the other. So it is all maybe due to the no responsibility of the earlier action or social acceptability sometimes. So by all these, you see cyber criminals make sometimes big money by an easy way, or they may have some we can say like they are very happy, they took pleasure in doing these things. So the reasons are different, and there are many reasons why these crimes are being committed. Then what are the different types of the crimes which are being committed against the women, and these crimes which are targeting the women? So first and foremost is the cyber pornography. Cyber pornography is the most dangerous threat to the female internet users. It refers to the portrayal of the sexual material on the website. This is a threat to the female netizens, as they never know which actions of theirs are being recorded and would later end up on the internet. So this includes the pornographic websites or pornographic magazines, cyber porn, using computers to publish and print the material, and the internet to download and transmit pornographic pictures and photos, writings, etc. So internet has provided a medium to facilitate the crime. This pornographic websites or e-magazines containing porn stuff, which could be downloaded from the internet, and transferable porn pictures. This all is coming under this cyber pornography, which is also known as the obscenity or sexual defamation. Then another type of the cyber crime may be cyber stalking. Cyber stalking, then harassment by emails, or cyber teasing, cyber bullying, cyber flirting, whatever is that, that is cyber stalking. So again, this cyber stalking is through the use of the internet to stalk or harass a person. Cyber stalking is very highly intrusive, and it is an unpleasant mechanism for gaining information about the victims. The stalker basically initiates some unwanted contact for the purpose of defamation, sexual harassment, and other forms of the exploitation of the women. And the stalker, they access the victim's personal information, their name, the family background, the telephone number of the women, and what is the daily routine of the women. And then they post all these things on the website, and with the name of the victim, pursuing them, harassing them, or stalking them. So this all has been done through the use of the internet. It is not a crime which is only done through the internet. We all know that can be carried out offline also, but today it is done on the online mode also. There is a great example of Ritu Kohli in New Delhi, who was receiving many emails from the unknown sources. So initially she ignored all these emails because the stalker used obscene and obnoxious languages and posted on her telephone number on the website, and then personal details also about Ritu Kohli. Then when she received many of the calls, and the calls were also not good, so she got alarmed, and then she filed a police complaint, and then the person was arrested for that. So there is stalking through online mode. Then harassment through emails is also one of the form of the crime, which is again is not a new concept, and it is very similar to the harassing through letters in the earlier time, and through offline mode. So it includes the blackmailing, it includes threatening, bullying. So the person can constantly send the letters in anonymous names to the women, or regular sending of embarrassing mails to mostly you see the girls between the age of 16 to 35 or 40 years of age, and the cheating, they are being cheated through email. So through though this e-harassment are similar to that of the letter harassment, but it creates problem quite often when posted through fake IDs. So emails are heavily used electronic tools, we all know, and many people send and receive emails every day. And this is how the women are being harassed through the emails. Then sextortion. Sextortion is one of new crime that is being done through the use of the internet. It is to extort the money for sexual favors from someone by threatening or revealing the evidence of their sexual activity through the means like morphed images. And there are many significant increase in the cybercrime against women, especially the sextortion during COVID period. The lockdown, during this lockdown period, the persons who were there within their home, they are said to be the caged criminals or home confined criminals. So they targeted many times online to these types of the sextortions for the purpose of gaining money, for the purpose of having the sexual favors from the women. Then cyber defamation is another form of the crime, which is again, we find that it is used by the use of internet, because cyber taught that includes the libel and defamation, that is a common crime against the women. This occurs when the defamation takes place with the help of the computers, and defamation is used to define the injury that is caused to the reputation of the person in the eyes of the third person. That is lowering down the reputation of the women by saying something or by publishing something. That is the crime that is known as the cyber defamation. So publishing of the defamatory material against the women, against the person with the help of the computers or internet. So defamation, you see, it's a civil wrong also under law of torts. It's a criminal wrong also under IPC. The punishments were there. But now it is being used by the use of the computers or internet. Then it is named as the cyber defamation. And you see someone who publishes the defamatory matter about someone on the website through the emails containing some defamatory information. This all comes under the cyber defamation. This cyber defamation may cause two main types of the injuries. First, the harm to the reputation of the person. So it may result into the loss of a job, loss of the customers also, or it may be the financial harms also. So we find that the cyber defamation is also one of the crime which the women are facing, and it is mostly committed by hacking the ID also on Facebook, on Twitter, Google, or any other social networking or mailing website. So the miscreants, they create fake profile of the women containing the personal information about her and then publish that. So this is cyber defamation. Then email is spoofing or SMS is spoofing are another crime which the female are also facing. So an email which represents its origin is a spoofed mail. It shows its origin is to be different from the actual origin. Email spoofing is very popular way of scamming online. So in spoofing, you see the sender's address and the other parts of the email header, those are all changed to appear as though the email is originated from some known or some authorized sources. But in fact, it is not like that. So email from a system administrator, which is requesting the users to change their password to a specified string and threatening to suspend their account if they ignore that, or email that claiming that it is coming from a person with the authority asking the customers to send the copy of their password or some sensitive information. Different types of the informations can be sought through this email spoofing, and the person will not be knowing that the email is coming from which source, because the origin of that source is not actual and that is fake one. So this email spoofing is also one of very severe crime which the women are also facing, besides all the human beings are facing, because not only the information, but you see it is always, expanding towards the email from a fake credit card, which is the company is asking for personal details or credit card number and password or access online account. So we see that the more common method used against women by men is to mail vulgar photographs of themselves to the women, praising their beauty and asking them for a date. They send messages by the email and SMS and chat also. Many times you see they also morph the photographs, placing the victim's face on another face, and many a time the face on a nude body or something like that, so that the women who is receiving these type of the emails, they because they are feared of all these things, and they send out the passwords and the other informations which are so sought by these type of the emails. Then morphing is another crime against women, which is also used through the use of the internet. Morphing, that is the editing the original picture by an unauthorized user. Unauthorized persons, they download victim picture and then they upload or reload them after editing as editing the picture, and then they create fake profiles after editing them. So this is something like morphing, and you see the face has been changed, or the face of the victim that is being changed, and she would be given the picture of with her face, but the body would not be of that particular women. And in that way, this morphing is also being committed as a crime against the women. This we know amounts a violation under the IT Act, but still these type of the offenses are being committed. Then virtual rape via cyberspace. The cyberspace, we know the computer generated environment of the internet is referred to as the cyberspace. So cyber abuse or the cyber crime that goes unreported, as women are unaware of such offenses, while people do not live in the cyber space, they come and go like any other persons. And this nature provides the offenders the chance to escape after commission of the cyber crime. The biggest problem of the cybercrime lies in the modus operandi and the motive of the cyber criminal, because many websites and blogs provide security tips for the safety of the women and the children while using the internet, but still the cyber crime against the women is on the rise. Now, if we see the laws, then we find many legal provisions are there to deal with the cyber crimes. For example, the IT Act, Information Technology Act of 2000, amended many times in 2008 also. And particularly if you see section 67, and then 67 ABC have been inserted by 2008 amendment that provides for the penal provision in respect of the offenses for publishing or transmitting of material which is containing sexually explicit acts and child pornography in electronic form. Then this section 67C, if you see, then this is an obligation on the intermediary also to preserve and retain such information. Then besides IT Act, there are many sections in the IT Act itself, section 65, 66, 67, 70, 72. These are all relates to the publication for the fraudulent purposes, breach of the confidentiality and privacy, hacking the with the computer system or access to the protected system. So, or something like tampering with the computer source documents. So many of the provisions are there in the IT Act relating to this cyber crime that can be controlled through that. Besides IT Act, we are having some other specific laws also, like which are not, we can say, directly related to the cyber crime, but the crimes are there and those can be controlled. Immoral Trafficking Prevention Act, then the provisions in IPC also, whether it is 354 IPC, 354 A, B, C, D, 509, 376, 376 ABC. So many of the laws are there. Then domestic violence and criminal conspiracy, criminal trespass. So these type of the crimes which are committed online, 292 relating to obscenity and all that. So we find that IPC is the law where we find that there are various offenses which are providing the punishment also for these type of the crimes. Then dowry deaths, honor killing, and acid attacks and stalking, 354D, that stalking is a crime there as an offense in IPC, and we find that cyber stalking is also one of the crime. Then Women Trafficking, Sexual Harassment Act of 2013, then POCSO Act, representation of the women. And these are all there in the existence. But the question is what to do to get the remedy. What precautions we need to take to keep evidence intact as digital footprint to reach the court of law. Because we all know that we all have the knowledge that what to do, how to do, but we don't do the things. So there are two things, knowledge and doing. Only knowledge is not sufficient, but we need to do. The problem is that we know, but many a times we don't do the things. So knowledge and doing should go together. There are certain things which every user of the computer system or internet must keep in his or her mind, that if he or she is attacked by these type of the crimes, then do not delete the harmful communications. Whatever emails are being received, or there is chatting or logging or the post, etc. So they should not delete these harmful communications from their system, because these will take you to lead to evidence as the digital footprint. So don't edit or change them in any way. Whatever is coming, keep that intact. Save all communications for the evidence. If you have any such items in your possession, take them to the police department and file a general complaint. So when you find you have been scammed, block the scammer in your email, delete him from your address book, but not to delete the mails which have been there. Remove that person from your instant messenger and put him on the ignore list. in the instant messenger, report immediately to the cybercrime police station. Then secondly, you also need to do on the social network sites, before sharing the information to the strangers, you need to be very particular regarding the particulars of the person concerned. The strangers, you need to verify their particulars. You have to limit the amount of the personal information you post on the website, because today everybody is having many accounts, either in the Facebook or Twitter or some other grounds like social media. So we post many of the personal information, so we need to know how much information we have to post. Do not post information that would make you vulnerable. And also, once you post the information online, you cannot retract that. If you have posted something, you cannot retract that. Even if you remove the information from a site, saved or the cached version may still exist on the people's computer, on other people's computer or the mobile. So if you feel any immediate physical danger or bodily harm, then call your local police for that. And if a situation online becomes hostile, log off your computer or search some other site. Don't stay on that particular site. So if a situation places you in the fear, or contact a local cyber police station. Further, it is to be ensured that we should not trust everyone who we meet on the internet without knowing him or her blindly, because who is sitting on the other side of the computer, we do not know. And if we do not know, then we cannot give all the informations to the other persons whom we are not knowing. So we should not share informations with the others. However, we should share the informations about our things to our parents, our guardians, and about as to our whereabouts. If we are going through now, because of this technology, we are booking the online services, online Ola, Uber, and all that. So we should share the information with our parents and guardians also, as to where we are going, whereabouts for the person concerned. That is also very important. Then we should take proper precautions about the risk, and also invoke the awareness. Our precaution and awareness may go a long way in countering the cyber crimes against innocent victims. So for better security, what we should do, we must use some of the guidelines which are very important for every internet user. Like we should use strong passwords. We should avoid simple, easy guess passwords, because we are having so many IDs, we are having so many different types of the uses on the net. So we make the IDs, we make the passwords by using the names, birth dates, and marriage anniversaries or something like that as our password. So we should make very strong passwords, and we should not use the guessed passwords which anybody can guess by using our names or birthdays, etc. And at the same time, we should also change our passwords and PIN very frequently, whether it's the ATM card or passwords. Then we should change them frequently. Then we should also make the regular backup of the critical data. We should update our operating systems, and we should install the latest version of the antivirus. We should use the virus protection softwares. We should understand the privacy settings of the social network. What is to be shared in public, what is to be shared in friends, what is to be shared with the groups of the friends. So we should know the privacy settings of the social network which we are using. And we should not always keep our computers online also, because we never know that how much information that computer is hacking from ourselves when we are online. And then we should not open our email attachments from the stranger. So whenever there is any email that comes to you with some attachment, and we are not knowing that who has sent that email, then we should not click on those suspicious links, or we should not open those attachments which are coming from the stranger. So we should avoid the clicking links or visiting some suspicious sites also. We should regularly download the security patches from our software vendors, we should update the antivirus, and we should be aware of unsolicited calls and messages also, because that may seek some of the information which one can give without knowing, without understanding the fate of that information which we are going to give on those calls and messages. And always pay the attention to the type of the personal information we are sharing with. And this is always a reason why our personal information is needed. I don't think that in any of the circumstances anybody could need your password. So if any password if somebody is asking, or if the pin of your ATM or something like that is asking, then it is not required. So never share your pin or your password with anyone. And we must also keep the password protected from the others. We should not share those passwords with our friends even. And do not keep any sensitive material on the computer, as that can be accessed by the hacker also. Sometimes it happens that we keep our passwords, a list of the passwords or the information regarding bank details and accounts, we keep this on the computers. So that should not be there in the computers, because that can be accessed by the hacker, that information can be hacked. And also we should not believe any email that is coming with a sense of panic, that some relative or some known person is in a particular state and is requiring some money, he's in need of money, and all that type of the panic emails, that is also we should not respond to. And for this, we should follow the mantra, or we should follow a sutra for using the computers and internet, that our vigilance and our diligence will keep us safe. It is always very, very advisable to lodge a complaint in the case of the cybercrime with the appropriate authority, by not only knowledge but with the doing of that thing. If we are knowing that this by doing this we can save ourselves, then we should do also that. We should not only confine ourselves that we know, but we must do that, and we must report the things to the appropriate authority also. And as I was told that this FDP is for the researchers also. So I suppose that the researchers must also consider to work on the issues which are relating to the cybercrime, just to examine the gendered impact in the areas with growing technology, as to what is the impact of this growing technology on the women or on the gender. They can examine in that way. They can also investigate the social media's role, first in facilitating the crime, and second, the addressing technology-based crimes. Then the researcher can also work on research partnerships with those who are responsible for reporting mechanism and data collection. And there is a great area where the researchers can work to see the gap in law and the crime. Because we all know that the law is made by the human being, and the crime is committed through the use of the technology, which we all know is runs on a very, very fast pace than the human being himself. So the crime comes first and the law comes afterwards. So how to see the gap in this law and crime, particularly now with the use of the internet or the use of the technology. So this gap, how we can bridge this gap by using our knowledge. This is also maybe one of the area where the researchers can think to work on these issues which are relating to the cybercrime. And finally, the problem can be solved, as I suppose, only when the women victim reports back, or they warn the culprit that if they are doing, or if they'll continue to do that, then they will be taking the strong actions, or they'll go to the court of law, they will be lodging the FIR against them, so that the person who is doing these type of the activities, cyber crime, then to some extent he'll refuse, or he'll not be doing the same things again and again to the same women victim. So it is the willpower of the women concerned who is facing these type of these cyber crimes, that of course there are many things, but we find that the women should solve the problem herself by reporting the crimes to the appropriate the authority concerned, to the police stations, and only then we will find that these cyber crimes can be reduced to some extent. Though there are different types of the crimes, but there are different laws also to control them, and the awareness of all those laws are very, very important. So with these words, I stop here. And once again, I thank Madam Nujhat and Madam Gauri and their team for giving me this opportunity to share some of the thoughts on cybercrime. But my main focus is only and only for the researchers to do some work in the areas which are growing through the technology, which are facilitating the cyber crimes, and which can be addressed through this technology based crimes in their research work, and to see also the gap between law and crime. So with these words, I stop. Thank you very much. If there are questions, I will be very happy